Brought to you by Penguin.
The Great Sea by David Abulafia. Read by Jonathan Keeble. Part 1. The First Mediterranean, 22,000 BC to 1000 BC. Chapter 1. Isolation and Insulation, 22,000 BC to 3000 BC. 1. Carved out millions of years before mankind reached its coasts, the Mediterranean Sea became a sea between the lands, linking opposite shores once human beings traversed its surface in search of habitation, food, or other vital resources. Early types of humans inhabited the lands bordering the Mediterranean 435,000 years before the present, to judge from evidence for a hunter's camp set up near modern Rome. Others built a simple hut out of branches at Terra Amata near Nice, and created a hearth in the middle of their dwelling. Their diet included rhinoceros and elephant meat, as well as deer, rabbits, and wild pigs. When early man first ventured out across the sea's waters is uncertain. In 2010, the American School of Classical Studies at Athens announced the discovery in Crete of quartz hand axes, dated to before 130,000 BC, indicating that early types of humans found some means to cross the sea, though these people may have been swept there unintentionally on storm debris. Discoveries in caves on Gibraltar prove that 24,000 years ago, another species of human looked across the sea towards the mountain of Jebel Musa, clearly visible on the facing shore of Africa. The first Neanderthal bones ever discovered in 1848 were those of a woman who lived in a cave on the side of the Rock of Gibraltar. Since the original finds were not immediately identified as the remains of a different human species, it was only when 8 years later similar bones were unearthed in the Neander Valley in Germany that this species gained a name. Neanderthal man should carry the name Gibraltar woman. The Gibraltar Neanderthals made use of the sea that lapped the shores of their territory, for their diet included shellfish and crustaceans, even turtles and seals, though at this time a flat plain separated their rock caves from the sea. But there is no evidence for a Neanderthal population in Morocco, which was colonized by Homo sapiens sapiens, our own branch of humanity. The straits apparently kept the two populations apart. In the long period of the Lower and Middle Paleolithic, Old and Middle Old Stone Age, navigation across the Mediterranean was probably rare, though some present-day islands were accessible across land bridges later covered by the rising sea. The Cosquer Grotto near Marseille contains carvings by Homo sapiens from as early as 27,000 BC and paintings earlier than 19,000 BC. It now lies well below sea level, but when it was inhabited, the Mediterranean shore lay a few miles further out. The first good evidence for short sea crossings comes during the Upper Paleolithic, the Late Old Stone Age, that is, before about 11,000 BC. At this point, visitors set foot on Milos in the Greek Cyclades, in search of the volcanic glass obsidian used in stone tools and offering sharper edges than flint. Sicily has yielded dozens of Paleolithic sites from the same period, very often along the coast, where settlers consumed large quantities of mollusks, though they also hunted foxes, hare, and deer. They took care of the dead, covering the body with a layer of ochre, and sometimes burying the corpses with decorated necklaces. On the western extremity of Sicily, they occupied what are now the easternmost Egadian islands, which were then probably small promontories connected to Sicily itself. On one of them, Levanzo, somewhere around 11,000 BC, they decorated a cave with incised and painted figures. The incised figures include deer and horses, drawn with liveliness and a degree of realism. The painted figures are more schematic, rough representations of human beings, and are thought to date to a later occupation of the cave. The drawings and paintings from the Sicilian caves demonstrate the existence of a hunter-gatherer society, adept, as we know from other evidence, at the creation of effective tools out of flint and quartzite, whose rituals included sympathetic magic.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?